It looks like that the local bottom for Bitcoin is finally in, and then we are ready for the next major leg to the upside. But the question is, should you buy now or still wait a little bit? I will show you exactly what I'm going to do, and also don't miss out on the $500 to $10,000 challenge. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Saturday. I jumped directly into the weekly chart of Bitcoin. There's not much that we need to talk about otherwise, besides Bitcoin and other coins that I have lined up for you here. So here on the weekly chart, so this looks now like a really, really healthy doji candle. So, and I expect here most likely by next week, getting a continuation candle to the upside, creating here a massive reversal and continuation pattern. In this case, it would be continuation pattern to the upside and invalidating this potential spinning top here. If we get next week a move back to like $110,000, $112,000, potentially even new all-time high, that would be then a Morningstar pattern, and a Morningstar pattern is a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern, and it would mean that we move higher. The RSI is also pointing to that fact currently that this might be the next move here for Bitcoin, because we are slightly pointing up here, and the stochastic can currently be a little bit ignored. So, but this looks really, really healthy for me right now. You see a lot of buyers stepped in to push the price back in recent days, even though we went here almost to exactly $100,000. And now it looks like that we are reversing this whole candle here in the last coming hours of this week. So then on this daily chart, you can clearly see that Bitcoin is trying to break out of that falling wedge pattern here. And once we are breaking out, I will potentially add more to my Bitcoin long that I have from $102,000, $102,500. That's where I took the position. So I will add more when we break out above $106,000. So I'm going to trade this then only into the last autumn high with a stop loss at $104,000 approximately. So that's a little bit lower than that, $103,850. That's where I'm going to set the stop loss. So there's a 2% stop loss potential, 5.6% profit. So here I will not enter with like 50x leverage, so this is not a scalp trade for me on Bitcoin. So, but 10 to 20x is most likely what I'm looking at here. It will be most likely 10x. 10x is absolutely fine. Making 56% here, potentially in a matter of 3-4 days, that's absolutely fine for me. I don't need to make any more money than that because I want to enter this with size. But I'm going to show you in a moment why I will be waiting for $106,000. At the same time, what I also want to point out here, that this was a perfect retest of this downward sloping trend line here, and that we have seen something similar in the past for Bitcoin. If I zoom out here a little bit, we had more or less the same thing last year. Just want to show that to you guys. So here you see also consolidation, breakout, comeback, then we were off to the races. What we had here, we had a breakout, break, consolidation, breakout, coming back down for a retest, now potentially off to the races. So what we need right now, as I said, is a break of the downward sloping trend line, then most likely we are ready to go much, much higher. On the 4-hourly chart, also here, this head and shoulders pattern seems to be invalidated, and we had something called a Hail Mary move. So, and that means that we are getting a fake out from that head and shoulders pattern where we try to break below the neckline and start moving down, but then we get a V-shaped recovery and continue to go higher. So here you can see the first major resistance level on the 4-hourly chart marked here is at $106,675. So there is some resistance. We might struggle there a little bit to go higher. That is not what I want to show you here. 1-hourly chart that we have, first of all, reclaimed support at $103,775. As I said, this is like a V-shaped recovery and potentially also a cup and handle pattern. So this cup and handle pattern is also about to break here. So if you want to trade rather a short term than the other move, or continue to trade then into the other move, I said 100 most likely up there, So then this would be your set, yeah, no, kind of like this here would be your setup. So let me check again. What did we have here? 112,000, kind of here. So 6.3% to the upside, 0.77% of a stop loss. If we break above 100, sit here, $105,600. So the $400 difference is not a huge difference, guys. It's not a huge difference. So, but if you want to trade that cup and handle pattern, you could also do that. And the target of the cup and handle pattern is here roughly $109,000 approximately. If I had to measure it, I would guess it's $109,000 all the way down here. Neckline, $110,400 would be the technical target. So if you want to trade these good and really juicy setups with us together, guys, then sign definitely up here on Blofin. You can trade and earn with the non-KYC platform here. I want to mention it here again because I think a lot of you have not really understood what we are doing here. I will help you personally in the alpha group to trade $500 to $10,000. You can also have a smaller amount if you want to have a small trade with a smaller amount. If you want to trade with $250, that's also fine. But then, of course, the result will be different. You will not go to $10,000 with 250. You will go halfway to 5,000. But the whole point is, I will take $500 to $10,000. If you want to be part of that, then sign up with the link in the pin comment below and the description below, and send then on Telegram me your Blofin number. If you cannot send me your Blofin number on Telegram, do it on Twitter. And make sure that you sign up with my link or use my ref code AMCrypto. That's also possible. So you see here, Blofin and Byte AMCrypto. So that is the ref code, guys. That's the ref code if you want to use the ref code. And then I'm going to add you to the group. And I haven't mentioned that yet. We're going to start next Thursday, guys. Next Thursday is when we're going to start with that competition. So you have time until next Thursday, but better sign up right now because we have a lot of people coming in and it is limited. At 200 people, I close the group, guys. I'm not kidding. If you know me, when I say something, I do it. 200 people closed, so there's not a lot of spots left in the group. So be quick before I run out of spots. Again, all the links are in the pin comment below, and also every step is described there, what you need to do. Now, on the MDX Algo Scalp Gradient, so here we print now a really, really beautiful purple candle, which means the price keeps to heat up here, most likely into a rally to the upside. I'm not saying that this has to happen today, that we have to go and test here from that bullish pennant the resistance at $108,000 today, but tomorrow, after tomorrow, give it 24 hours, I would say, then we are most likely there. Today, what I would like to see is a reclaim of the weekly open here at $105,600, and it looks pretty likely that we are going to get that retest and potentially a flip back into support that we're going to use to get here to the top of the range of the $108,000 level that I mentioned. And if we get a break out of that, then again, the sky is the limit. Also here on the reactor indicator, I warned you about this, that when we get a buy tag and a dot plot, and on the reactor indicator 2 dot plots, that usually marks the bottom. That's what happened here. But if you would have bought here on every dot plot, just to give you perspective, if you would have had a 5x leverage, even a 10x leverage trade would have been fine. You would have bought here, sorry, on the dot plot. Let's be fair and correct on the dot plot. You would have bought here, you would have bought there. So here you have, after buying here, you would have already dollar cost average down your entry. So you would be not here at $108,000 or $109,000 anymore in the worst case of your entry. You would be now sitting at like 107 potentially. And then you would have bought here again on this dot plot. So every time here, when these dots showing up, you would have bought a long position. So now here, your entry would have been like at 105, 104. So you would be at break even right now. So, but you would have also caught the bottom here with your buy order. So, or you would have opened 3 different separate longs. That would have been also fine on 3 different exchanges. This one on 10x would have maybe gotten liquidated or close to liquidation. This one not. This one would be now in profit, and this would be in massive profit. So, but if you would have dollar cost averaged your position and you would have just bought, that would have been also absolutely fine, because now you would be slightly in profit, and this, in my opinion, has marked the local bottom, and now we're gonna start to pump to the upside, and you can reap all the fruits of rigorous and consistent buying along these dot plots here when they're showing up, both of them. Really important when they show up both, not when you get only one. You want to do it when you get. So just to show you the power of this indicator. Also, if you want this indicator, there is also a link for that in the description below. If you want this one, it's also something that I use on a daily basis. So now on the liquidation levels. So here, beautiful, exactly what I pointed out, guys, happened here. That price came now above the 50 moving average. We reclaimed the 50 moving average. Most likely going to get continuation and start liquidating some over leveraged short positions, because here on the liquidation levels we still have a lot of positions to liquidate. On the long side, just in the last couple hours, some new late short longs came in here, but I'm not really concerned that we're turning one more time around here to get them now. I see here way more a potential upside now that we take all the shorts, because there's all the liquidity stacked right now, and our trade setup from all the way down here, that is the trade that I was talking about from $102,500 for myself. That is the one that I entered here, and we're currently up almost 3% on that trade specifically. The 50 moving average is bouncing off most likely off the 200 moving average, because that's how it looks like right now. That means there will be no def cross or a def cross fake out be happening. And then you see the 50 turning around and continue the upwards trend. On the liquidation heat map, also here, just to refresh that one more time, here you see all the liquidity is concentrated above us, which is most likely then also the way that we're going. Remember, market makers and hedge funds want to go the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance is right now to the upside, taking here all these liquidations with them. So once we're getting here above $105,800 approximately, I would say we start triggering some short squeezes, and we'll go pretty quickly up to $107,000, $108,000, maybe even $110,000. Then stagnate a little bit again, and from there, if we get to $111,000, no, $110,000, yeah, no, actually when we get to $110,000, from there we should trigger another short squeeze to $111,000, $112,000, maybe even already into a new all-time high. We're looking at altcoins right now and at the total free market cap. So here our bull flag formation is still intact as we bounced off or came back into the flag formation here. We have reclaimed the $835 billion level and keep pushing it to the upside. I'm going to give you also some altcoin setups, because some of them are ripping right now insanely well here. So don't want to hold back on that. Here I definitely see continuation. If we can get above $874 billion in the next coming days, then all the doors should be open to get here back to above 900 billion or even to $1 trillion. The Bitcoin dominance is here pulling back today a little bit. I would like to see some more follow through to come back here below 63.5%. So basically we need to lose 1% on the dominance. Once we are doing that, closing a daily candle below that level, that's when you get a further bigger drop to the downside. So but even if we only top out here today in the short term and start going down here slightly over the next coming days, that will also be already a major relief on many altcoins. And all the altcoins are traded for me on Bybit, guys. You still get $30,000 if you sign up there. And this Bybit card, I use it every single day. You get up to 10% cash back for using it. So get it while you can. The link for that is in the Bitcoin below and in the description below. And you also get a free $500 airdrop position by using my link. So don't forget about this. And really important, if you're in Europe, you can sign up on Bybit right now. Once again, Europe is open and for business on Bybit, so make use of that and use the link in the pin comment below and the description below for this. Now the Ethereum Bitcoin chart is still struggling to break back above the upward sloping trend line here, but we still have 1.5 days left. I'm pretty confident that we're still able to do that. Because when I look at the Ethereum USDT chart, then here, like I mentioned yesterday, everything looks like that we're getting here a continuation move to the upside. We're around $2,500 currently. So once we get back to $2,575, I would consider opening here again a position we are currently trying to fight back into the bullish pennant that we were forming here. If we can close within the bullish pennant, then I expect by tomorrow, after tomorrow here, breakout above $2,700 at least, because here on the MACD we are losing still momentum. The RSI is slightly going up, but not too much, because we are here at resistance. But the stochastic RSI is about to print a buy signal when we close today's daily candle as it is. So, and that would also mean here by tomorrow, most likely a retest of the golden ratio at $2,600 on that ascending triangle. Again, around $2,700 if you want to play that specific setup. That's where your entry would be, but you can also combine both of them and just enter here 2,500 and play both. Just remember that oh, actually the other one has a higher target, so this setup would be actually the better one, I think. 30.4%. This was, I think, 14. Yeah, so if you can manage to get in at 2,500, do it. If you miss it, then here is your secondary setup. You know, so because what most likely is going to happen is we go to the golden ratio, get rejected one time, bounce a little bit around, come back in, then break out. So that's what I'm seeing for Ethereum in the next couple of days. Then Solana, really quick, on the 4-hourly chart, looks like, at least on stochastic, a little bit overextended because we run here into resistance. But when I go into the daily chart, things look a little bit different. So here we just started to get a buy signal on stochastic. The MACD also rolling over back to the buy side. Stochastic strong, RSI strong, pointing to the upside here and trying to break into bullish territory. So bullish territory is above 52%. So when we get above 52%, we are in bullish territory and we should get a nice pump here to the upside, and candles like this here, what we have seen here in the past, which was like 147 to 164, so $17 move. So that was like a 12% move in one single day. So something like this will happen again when the RSI goes over 52% at some point. So, and yeah, you should be already in here since $147 since I entered. But if you are not, it's not too late, you know. So I would still enter from here. Just remember that this level is also currently resistance. $155 to $157 will also now act as resistance, but I would still enter from that level here. But then if you enter right now, $147 will be your stop loss, just that you know. So or you have, $147 will be your stop loss in that case. Injective 4-hourly chart, also breakout out of the falling wedge pattern here. I'm waiting for a break above $13. Really simple, because we are forming here a W pattern, and this is also a major resistance level. So here we got rejected. Here it was support. Here it was support. Here it was support. Here we broke below support. So you see that is a really important resistance flip, support resistance flip level. And with that W pattern that we are shaping here, I just want to wait for that to be broken before I enter here position. And then the technical target for this would be here at $15.19 approximately, which would be almost a 13% move to the upside. So if you trade the falling wedge pattern, then this will go a little bit higher than to $15.35. What did I just say? 13%. So that would be then 14% to the upside, and my stop loss would be here at $12.42. That's how I would play that, because also here on the daily chart we are just getting, we're just warming up, guys. Here we're just warming up to go here much higher. Next one is ICP. ICP also forming a W pattern. We have broken above $5.04. So from here I would already, right now I would consider entering this for the simple reason that we have broken here above this crucial former support level. So here we broke that support and then we came and broke it again to the upside, here back to the downside, here we broke it back to the upside. So now it should act again as support, I hope, if we come back to it. So definitely would enter this from here. My first take profit in that case would be $5.47. But if you want to trade this W formation here that you're currently seeing being developed on the chart, then I would potentially take some profit still from that level here and at the same time trail my my stop loss. So I would trail my stop loss then to like $5.25 approximately, just in case that we come down a little bit and get rejected and then break here into a higher level, because the technical target for this W pattern is, now imagine you trade this from here. So that is almost a 20% move. And if you trade from the breakout, there is still a 12% move to the upside. So the 12% move has way less risk on the trade setup than the other one, just to be clear here. So you have to choose what you want to do, but technically I would potentially take the risk already entering this right now, and my stop loss would be then here at $4.89. So also here that you get perspective what I'm talking about. Entering here, $4.89, 4.5% stop loss. So that would be absolutely fine, you know, with like a 20% move to the upside. If I only take it here, it will be just 6.5%, yeah, almost 7%. Not that great of a risk to reward, from a risk to reward perspective, but I want to make sure that I will not get kicked out of the trade, you know. So if we pull back here a little bit, it will most likely be like to $5 and then slightly come up again and continue. So we want to make sure that we are not getting stopped out here on that trade. That's why I have to make that, in that case, a little bit bigger. But I'm pretty positive that we are getting here that move to $6.12. The next one is SUI. So SUI is struggling to break above the 0.786 level at $3.28. Once we are doing that, I expect to move to the golden ratio. If we flip that golden ratio here on a 30 minutes chart with like 1 to 30 minute candles close above the golden ratio, I would consider entering from there into a new trade setup here all the way up to $4.42. Because once we're flipping the golden ratio, we're gonna try to break above the downward sloping trend line here of that falling broadening wedge, and the top of the wedge is usually the target, and that would be at $4.30. And from there, because we then flip also this resistance area here where we have a lot of sell orders sitting, I expect that we get a continuation pump into the next block, and just before we reach that, I'm going to take my profit, because that is a major trade setup here. We're talking about 28%. Again, if I put 5x leverage on that, that's over 140% in one single trade. That's more than enough, guys, more than enough. Also here, the daily chart definitely signaling continuation to the upside. We are getting here a buy signal today on the MACD. The stochastic RSI is bullish, and the RSI also most likely going here more straight up in an arrow shape when we flip the 0.786 level on the Fibonacci extension levels. Then TRB, I know some people ask me about TRB, so I would enter TRB when we break above $46.78. So we are like percent away from that, I think. Is it? Yeah, no, it's a percent. Yeah, so it's like 1% away from entering this, and I would trade this here to $55.37. So that's also almost a 20% move on the 4-hourly chart. Once we're breaking here above the downward sloping trend line, that will basically for me the signal to enter this trade here, and then here the same thing. We are forming a double bottom formation here. There I want to take all the profit because I don't know what's going to happen there. TRB is absolutely unpredictable, and I will trade this without leverage. You know, I will trade this without leverage. I will not put any leverage on that. The TRB is too risky for that, way too risky. And guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.